Welcome back, viewers, to the morning show on Tobago Updates Television. I am Adanna Combie, and I'll be taking you through our show this morning. Online, we have our first guest, Mr. Curtis Williams, and he is the president of Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce Tobago Chapter, and we're speaking this morning about the Cabo Star and the sailings for December 2023. Good morning, Mr. Williams, and welcome.
Good morning, Adanna, and welcome to all your viewers and listeners. It's a pleasure being here.
It's always a pleasure having conversations with you, and we're going to go head straight into our conversation this morning. We're talking about the sailings for the Cabo Star 2023. In the news, we heard that there might be some disruptions, but this is Christmas time, it's December, and it's a very important time for trade, right? Especially between the two islands, where we're going to need goods and services coming up from Trinidad to Tobago, and of course, sending stuff down to Trinidad as well. So I am very, very curious to find out about this disruption and how it is going to affect business between the two islands.
Adanna, once more, I think it's known, and it must be known. We did send out a press release yesterday to debunk any issues that or concerns that anyone may have. Apparently, someone got it wrong. The sailing of the Cabo Star and even the cruise ship season schedule were given to us in our meeting about 2 to 3 months ago. So we all knew the sailing and of the Cabo Star, etc., based on the cruise ships and their call of port. And so we will definitely plan accordingly. In that meeting, we had all the truckers, we had stakeholders, we have chamber members, etc., and other business folks. So we were all fully aware of the schedule of the sailing of the Cabo Star. Even up to a week ago, we were given an update once more about the sailing of the Cabo Star, the days, etc. I did send a copy across to the media houses. So we are fully aware of the sailing. So I don't think there's any disruption. What we have basically is that once the cruise ship is in port of Spain, the sailing is affected. And this information was communicated to us before, so we planned accordingly. All our warehouses, etc., all of us plan accordingly. We do plan accordingly.
Right, but in the event of, let's say, for instance, goods are scheduled to come up on a specific sailing, but there's a delay in the warehouse, so we missed that sailing, and there's a disruption in the sailing, so it pushes everything back as well. I know there's planning, as you said, your meeting that you had 2 months prior to this, and your stakeholders were involved. But what is put in place for the event, in the event where there is some measure of additional setback to getting goods and services across the two islands?
Adanna, even to reinforce the point, the Port Authority have put on additional sailing. They're using their galleon passage to assist, and also they did additional sailing on Saturdays to assist with moving goods between the island throughout the period of December. And as you can, I did send the schedule to your office, so you guys will have an idea about the schedule and how the sailing will be. Now we see most of the times the sailing will be off. It will be after Christmas. But we said that 24th, 25th, going all that way down, because that's a time when everything is down. Everybody's gone on holidays. All the construction site is closed. A lot of folks is out. Even I myself might be out. So there's not much activities happening. So that's the only time I see where there's a length of time based on the plan that I sent you guys. So, but other than that, we have the normal day on, day off. Up till last night, the vessel came in, this morning, sorry, and I offload my goods, and the vessel was about probably 90+% fill, and we did well. There's nothing. We have food stuff on the island. The schedule was sent before, so we all planned. I didn't see anything to be any uproar or anything of that sort. It's just probably some folks probably wasn't paying notice to what was going on. So now we probably kind of heighten them, and they understand now, hey, this thing was communicated to us before, and we all make the necessary plan.
Right, and I like the fact that you said your stakeholders were involved and there's a plan because you had your meeting before and you sent out the schedule. But you're quite right that some people might not have heard or might not have paid attention because, I mean, sometimes a little aggressive public education is what is needed sometimes, especially when it comes down to crunch time. But the planning is necessary. Having the schedule beforehand is necessary because, I mean, at the end of the day, this is cruise ship season. And every year we will have cruise ships in around this time when we have the sailings between both islands as well for goods and services. So kudos to all the stakeholders who came together to ensure that there was a sailing schedule, to ensure that there is minimal, if at all, disruption in terms of getting goods and services across both islands as well. And you said you cleared some goods just this morning, so I suppose that that system is working for you guys, and I'm happy to hear that. In terms of the needs or the request, the demand for sailing, how has it been? Do you have any idea how has it been so far?
Well, based on the planning, folks have done their planning excellent. As I indicated, the vessel is approximately 90% full. Up to this morning, I've noticed the amount of trucks and trailers coming off, as the case may be. So there's no big set of panic or concern. I mean, going forward, what we said in the meeting, which was something that I think that's probably where a lot of folks didn't understand. It was mentioned that we will try to see if we could put the vessel on the other side, which is the GSS side of the terminal, in terms of berthing, so that when there's a cruise ship, we won't have that disruption. They did try, and there were some issues coming back from the captain, and he had some concerns, some safety concerns. So and those concerns are present being dealt with. So we know going forward, the vessel will be docked hopefully next year when all these concerns are addressed. The vessel now will be docked on the GSS side. But in the meantime, the port and the chamber, we have daily dialogue. Adanna, we report daily. My committee head by Mr. Demi Cookshang, definitely working with the port 24/0 in getting any kind of communication out to us in terms of any kind of a order disruption or delays, as the case may be. And but we have a great relationship with the port, and we must say thanks to them for communicating with us. And we do send that communication to all our members, non-members, and we do share it with the public. So there's a bit of cooperation happening between the two entities, the Port Authority and the business community. So it's much better, and I'm happy with that. As you can see, the schedule up online, and the schedule definitely indicated the days when there will be no sailing. We see for the Christmas period, which will be like the 24th, which is Christmas Eve, and there will be no sailing until about the 29th. And we know that period is a very slow period because I believe by that time, all of us have done all our big shopping, and we as the business people, our sales have been over. So our warehouses are much less empty. So there's nothing much. We were just hoping that we get some good sales over the period, and we could all enjoy the Christmas season.
That schedule looks acceptable by me, right? Because as you said, that peak period there, they're sailing between the 20th to the 23rd, thereabout, where the height of the rush, the last minute things would get in by that time. And I like what you said earlier about the relationship that you have with the Port Authority. That brings some measure of comfort in terms of being able to get information from the port in terms of if there's going to be any delays or any setbacks. Having that information and having contact with your members and contact with the general public to know should something happen that they had sufficient time to put something else in place. That brings a measure of comfort, because we've seen in the past where a lot of truckers and a lot of persons were very disgruntled because of cancelled sailings or for whatever reason without prior knowledge. I mean, some things are unavoidable. There might be an issue where the sailing has to be cancelled, but the fact that there is communication, immediate communication where information can be transposed to the necessary stakeholders and the persons who are engaging in the service brings some measure of comfort to us. And I always like having conversations with you because I find that you bring a lot of information to our public. You bring awareness, and you ensure, for some reason, you just bring that measure of comfort. You know, the last conversation I had with you also was very engaging, and now on this very sensitive matter, it makes people feel a little bit more, reassured that we got you covered. We saw the schedule there for the sailing, and we can clearly see when there are no sailing days. So the general public, we're just asking you to make sure that you make your plans around the sailing. Of course, we have the support of the other ship as well to get goods across in the event the Cabo Star is not sailing. So we want to thank you so much for bringing that information to us. And I just want to know if there's anything else you want to share with our public before we end this conversation this morning.
Well, I just want to tell the business owners, look out for the additional ceilings, due to the fact that some of the additional ceilings we are not taking, the uptake is a pretty low on it. So we're looking for the additional ceilings, especially on Saturdays, to take full advantage of it and plan accordingly. And we should have a smooth and enjoyable Christmas. We're looking for all the stays now, so we open, our warehouses are filled, the capacity, we have all the food, we have all the drinks. Guys, come and shop. We're ready for sales.
I love it. I love to hear it. Of course, the business community out there getting their stuff together in collaboration with all the other stakeholders to ensure that we have all the goods that we need for this festive season. Thank you so much, Mr. Williams, for coming on the program this morning and sharing that information with us. And of course, for bringing some Christmas cheer, because it's Christmas. Thank you so much.
Thank
Right?
you, and have a good day.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, we're going to go for a short break. But before we go for a break, guess who's coming up next? Up next, we have Mr. Ricardo Bob, Public Health Inspector 4. He's up next, and we'll be talking about white waste cleanup for Christmas. We're going to go for a short break before we continue conversations in studio this morning. And of course, we're going to let you know that this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be back.